I want to look at a passage in Act 4, Scene 3 of A Winter's Tale. In our edition, it's page 2937. It's around line 33, where the clown has a shopping list given to him by his sister Perdita, in which our clown, who is out to buy provisions for a very traditional, old-fashioned rural festivity, has an extremely modern shopping list, a shopping list that has become modern in exactly our way, and in exactly the way that we think of as old-fashioned ourselves, but is actually just part of our deep modern global condition. I cannot do without counters. Let me see. What am I to buy for our sheep shearing feast? 3 pound of sugar, 5 pound of currants, rice. What will this sister of mine do with rice? But my father hath made her mistress of the feast, and she lays it on. She hath made me 44 and 20 nosegays for the shearers, 3 men songmen, all, and very good ones. But they are most of them means and bases, but one Puritan amongst them, and he sings psalms to hornpipes. I must have saffron to color the warden pies, mace, dates, none, that's out of my note, nutmegs, 7, a race or two of ginger, but that I may beg, 4 pounds of prunes, and as many of raisins of the sun. Okay, that shopping list probably seems fairly typical to us, especially as our own Thanksgiving celebrations comes nigh. We ourselves might get sent to the store to get, or sent out for delivery to get ourselves some mace, some nutmeg, maybe a little saffron, some sugar. Yes, most of those things do not grow in Bohemia, in Sicily, or in England. Many of those things do not grow in Europe at all. They don't grow in Ohio either. If you're following along at home, um, this is the clowns in Shakespeare, especially, tend to be um, tend to be anachronistic. They tend to be out. They tend to be in the time of performance rather than in whatever time this is depicted. But there's still something going on here where this old-fashioned traditional sheep shearing feast, and what could be more traditional than a sheep shearing feast, is actually about very up-to-date, modern, hip ingredients. I mean, we're sending the clown off to the 17th century equivalent of Whole Foods. Sugar does not grow in Europe or in Ohio either, right? This is actually part of a modern global trade. Sugar either came from the Far East or from the new sugar colonies that were emerging in the Atlantic, in the transatlantic trade. That's right. That's right. Yes. Sorry. I have a friend who needs her face wiped. You need your face wiped. What are you going to have for Thanksgiving? Same thing you're having today. Yes. Okay. She, neither are these spices. If you remember a certain old school version of history, one of the motivations for European exploration, exploitation, etc., the so-called Age of Discovery and of colonialism, is their desire to find cheaper, more reliable, quicker access to these spices that grow in the East, to the mace, the saffron, the nutmeg. What's the other thing there? The ginger. Things they cannot grow. Sugar is on that list. Prunes, raisins, sun, the kind of dried fruits. Okay, I'll buy it, especially if it's a kind of midsummer sheep shearing festival. Midsummer is a great time to dry fruits, to dry some grapes and some dates and some plums. The clown and Perdita are already doing the thing we still do today, in which these international commodities that are part of kind of global trade networks become written into our most traditional meals. What would Thanksgiving be without pumpkin pie or apple pie in my house? Either way, you're going to want that pumpkin spice, which is cinnamon, nutmeg. This does not grow in Ohio. Let me tell you, it doesn't grow on Cape Cod either. The Plymouth Pilgrims did not have a whole lot of pumpkin spice. hanging around. But those of you who had Britlet 1 with me last year know, for me, nothing's more traditional in the world than in the for the winter holidays than molasses cookies with a good bunch of cinnamon and nutmeg in there. And some cloves. Yeah, those things are traditional to my native New England, but those ingredients are not. Those ingredients all come from somewhere else. Here we have that moment, and we're going to enjoy it probably on Thursday, where we have traditional meals that in fact incorporate international global things, meals that we identify with our own home region but are built on ingredients that come from the other side of the world.